Hi everyone, Anthony Jordan here, and here is my top 5 best commentary moments for Alpha Live in 2019. We start the list on number 5, and it was Teesside Autodrome for round 2 of the British Minibike Championship. This race saw 48 riders take to the circuit at once, and as you can imagine, it was a challenging task for both me and my co-commentator Jacob Harris. Here's why it made my top 5.
Parker Racing Stock 140s about to come onto the circuit now. Now this is the class that I had a go in practice. I had a go on the, I think it was the 186 bike, which is, if I can try and find that on my order lists out here.
Got 185 of Matt Lewis.
It might be that one, yeah.
183 of John O'Dowd.
Could be John O'Dowd actually on the 183. So I'll try and find out. I really should remember the riders' names. There are so many to get through. It is difficult. So I do try my best to try and remember the amount of riders that I go through.
There is indeed a fair few in this one. Let me talk you through the grid. Luke Westerman, already a winner today in the Stock 160s, starts on pole here in the Stock 140s. Ben Lord is in second place. Ryan Tyers in third. We've also seen Ryan Tyers already today. Mick Lord will be in fourth place. Chris Grieve in fifth. Ben Lucas, again appearing for the second time today. He starts in sixth, ahead of Ed Peed, who hopefully makes the grid after his fall earlier. Phil Dickens will be in eighth on the grid alongside him. Scott McGiven and Joe Mills, fifth row of the grid. John Buckle 11th, Chris Edwards 12th. Luke Small 13th, Chris Heimers will be at 14th. Simon Wadsworth and Jamie Thackeray are on row 8. Marshall Richardson and Paul Brimble row 9. Matt Cox is in 19th, and Shane Mountney rounds out your top 10. Louis Webster is in 21st, Brett Neesham in 22nd, Simon Thackeray in 23rd. 24th will be Simon James Dean, 25th, Max Bartle. Leighton Santos is in 26th, 27th, Peter Wadsworth. Joe Woodward will start 28th, Ben Suter in 29th. We have a number of unknown riders in and around 30th and 32nd, but Gaz Pearson splits them in 31st. Ian Gill, Jack Bell, Dervain Allen, Alex Cairns and Matt Lewis are up to 37. Then we've got Dougie Craven, Lawrence Childs, Jack Wolf, Adam Pipes, Michael Garwood, and did not start qualifying was Ben Dixon, Nathan Smith, John O'Dowd, Andrew Giles, Lee Tisdale and Paul Histon may also make the grid.
Here's Alan again with his clipboard of many things, stopping all the riders. Again, just before the grid, and I can confirm it was the 185 of Matt Lewis's bike who kindly let me have a go in practice 2 yesterday. So if he complains that there's an engine issue with it, it wasn't my fault, Matt.
Viewers at home, keep an eye out for things falling off that bike, and do comment on the live stream if you see anything. I'd love to point that out to Anthony here in the comments box. So
there's nothing wrong with that bike, it's perfectly fine.
Alan picking out our riders at the front then. Luke Westerman back on pole position in his red and white. Is that a different helmet for Luke Westerman? I don't think he was in quite such a black helmet the first time we saw him today.
No, I don't think we did. No, so I think he's changed helmet actually. So many riders in this. Look at all those riders there. Try and remember all their names.
No.
No, I didn't think you would. There we go, but massive grid in this class as the riders all lining up. And of course, this is how many riders there were in my practice session. So you can see how terrified I was, never being out on this circuit before, on these bikes before, and all these guys going at least some 10 seconds faster than me a lap.
That is a very busy track. We've got, as we said, Luke Westerman in the very dark helmet on pole position. Ben Lord alongside him in the white helmet with the red, white and black overalls. In third place, Ryan Tyers.
Yep, Ryan Tyers.
Gives us a wave. There he is.
Hello, Ryan Tyers.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll give you a wave back. There we are.
Do we get one from Mick Lord in fourth place as well?
Yes, we do. There we go.
In his lime green, white and black suit. Fifth is Chris Grieve, who's not going to wave to us, but he's just going to fold his arms and say, I'm too solid to wave at you. Sixth place in the orange is Ben Lucas, and seventh, I quite like seventh. What, that nice sky blue and white?
Yeah, is that
It's Ed Peed.
Ed Peed? Yeah, Ed Peed, who went down at turn 1, I think. In one of the other. Well, we won't mention that. No, I don't think he heard us, but he did fine. But there, yeah, of course, obviously, your top 5 Westman there in pole, and the very dark helmet, red leathers there. In second position, of course, Ben Lord. Interesting race, this one. Again, I'm going to put my money on Mr. Tyres. Mr. Tyres, don't let me down. I've got a tenner riding on you, sir.
We had a win for Ryan Tyres at Clay Pigeon, and a win for Ben Lucas, who starts in 6th place in the orange last time out. So it'll be close between these top 6.
It will indeed be close, and I say so many riders in this one. They're all lining up at the far back there. And of course, we will be going onto the extra bit of straight, which is kind of the cut through from hairpin 2 onto the start-finish straight. So the riders will all line up there. And of course, we've still got many to actually grid up. There's still so many there waiting to grid up.
Yes, just looking at the qualifying times, Ben Lord 1/10 off Luke Westerman's best time in this one, and then a further second back to Ryan Tyres. Mick Lord putting in a 1:18.5 in comparison to the pole of a 16.7, and Ben Lucas putting in a 19.8. So work to do in terms of pace for some of these riders. I'd expect it to be a lot closer than those times suggest. But yes, Westerman and Lord separated by a 10th on the first row of the grid.
Yeah, of course. I'm waiting to see where the 185 of Matt Lewis joins the grid. Where did he qualify, Matt Lewis?
I don't think he was classified. He may have had transponder issues earlier in the day. Yes, there we are in 37th.
37th. There we go. I saw in one of the practice sessions that he had a go in. He actually put in the 18th fastest time, obviously not managing to repeat that in qualifying. And again, I'm not putting that down to me going out on the bike and making it slower.
Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened.
You going out and the time being set.
There are many, many factors in racing. And of course, me riding the bike could be one of them. But I'd say many riders in this, I believe 46 in total. Do we have that?
It's close to 50.
Close to 50,
riders
yeah,
make the grid.
yeah, close to 50 odd. So yeah, many riders in this one. Very busy grid indeed, and that's going to make it a fair challenge for the riders at the back to see that many go through. But of course, with this many riders and a tight first corner, it's going to be interesting.
Yes, I'd expect back markers to play a part in this race as well. And this number of riders will be surprised if we don't get a couple of laps in to this one.
So again, a quick rundown of your top 5 again is Westerman on pole in the black helmet and the red and white one-piece suit. Second position, Ben Lord, and then it's Ryan Tyres, Mick Lord, and Chris Grieve. They are your top 5 at the moment. But yeah, Mick Lord with the very nice green-white leathers.
We've got 3 riders left to grid up at the back, and I think they've been misplaced, as Alan seems to be deep in conversation with a couple of them as to where they should be starting.
Well, there are some gaps in the order, I should say, so maybe he already knows where they need to go. He's just slot them into said order. So
yeah, riders at the front getting quite impatient, tapping their feet and looking over their shoulders, as I would too. They've been sat there for a while now, and as we've mentioned a number of times, it is rather warm today. Lovely weather for it if you are out here at Teesside supporting us. Shout out to everyone on the banks. Glad to see such a well-supported championship here at Teesside. Engine notes are rising, they are revving their bikes, and we are just about ready to go, Anthony.
Yes, we are indeed. Sorry, I did disappear there to take a quick photo. I've never seen so many bikes on a grid before. But the green flag goes up, revs raise, and it goes down, and we are racing the 65, getting very sideways there as we go into the first corner now. So many riders in this grid. I'm amazed that we're getting through the first couple of corners here unscathed, but we do. Absolutely fantastic from the top.
That's incredible scenes as they all go through the first couple of corners there, but Luke Westerman holds his lead from Ben Lord as we go into turn 2.
They do indeed. So yeah, Westerman, Lord, Tyres, and another Lord there. So you got Ben and Mick Lord out there, both as they go through the section. A bit of action further down as one of the riders gets a bit squirrely, but managed to get down the inside. I'm not sure who that is. It's the black leathers, yellow helmet. Further down, it looks like 8th or 9th.
Yes, at the front, top 4 have kept their
Oh,
positions.
as one of the riders has gone down. Sorry, Jacob. One of the riders has gone down at the exit of turn 3. He is back up. He's got the bike. He started it back up and he's gone away now. But here's your top 3. It is still Westerman, followed by that is Ben Lord and Ryan Tyres. I think it's still your top 3 at the moment.
It is indeed, but he's under intense pressure as they come into stadium for the first time. Very close, our top 3 into the first of the hairpins now.
There's a top 3 going into hairpin 2. Some of the riders just exiting hairpin 1, so that tells you how big this grid is and how separated they are. But it's Ben Lord all over the back of Westerman as they go out of the final corner to finish lap 1. Your top 3 crossing the line now. It's Westerman, Lord, Tyres as they go through the first chicane. Then it's Chris Grieve, Phil Dickens. Then it looks like Joe Milners and Scott McGriven has gone down into 7th place.
Yes, Jamie Thackeray, Luke Small and Simon Wadsworth round out your top 10. It's Chris Hymers, I believe, who was in the barriers at the top of the hill on lap number 1.
Really unfortunate for that rider, but your top 3 still very close, battling away.
Westerman has lost the lead going up the hill. Ben Lord takes the lead of this race coming down the hill. We will see Ben Lord emerging first.
He will indeed. So cracking move from Ben Lord through that tricky section. But they're going into the chicane now, and it looks like there's pressure from Westerman around the outside of that corner. That's very ambitious. Under the braking now for hairpin 1. Tyres again, just a passenger here, really. He's just watching these guys battle in front. He's going to wait for that opportunist move to see where it's going to be ideal to overtake. But Ben Lord looks like he's opening a gap now to Westerman as they're going through into the stadium section.
Yes, great move there for the lead by Ben Lord on the first part of this track. Ryan Tyres definitely involved in this one as well. That top 3 are almost inseparable at the minute.
They really are. So close, and the gap between these 3 riders, just 0.3 of a second as they go across the line. And it looks like we've got competition from Tyres across the line. No, we don't. So Ben Lord, your new fastest rider out there, 1:17.6, followed by 1:17.8 and 1:17.6 again.
Westerman so nearly lost it there on turn 1.
It's really difficult turn 1. It's such a fast corner where there's that bump on the apex that can really struggle. There's your 4th and 5th place. That's Greaves and Dickens. And then there's 6th, 7th and 8th of Milner's, Thackeray and Small as they're going through, and then the rest of the riders involved. But then here is still those packs further down. You've got packs of 3 everywhere, but here's your top 3, and it looks like Westerman's going to look for the inside move down into the chicanes. He does. Westerman back in the lead through the chicanes. Fantastic move. Really tight section of track there, but he's managed to squeeze that bike in between himself, the apex, and Ben Lord as we go through. And Tyres still all over the back of this, waiting for a gap.
Quick correction, Mick Lord is still in 4th place in those lime green overalls. Didn't come up on the timer screens last time round, but he's back up there now, showing in 4th place.
There we go. So still your top 3. Tyres still on the back of this. Westerman not giving any space. And Ben Lord still struggling to find a gap to get through. But I'm still amazed by the overtake that Westerman did.
Yes, let's see what they can do going into the first part of the lap. This is where Lord overtook him last time, and Westerman had that little shake into turn 1. Let's see if it happens this time. It looks a bit smoother this time round.
Does look a bit smoother this time as we'll go down the hill now into turn number 2. It is still Westerman by Lord by Tyres. And then we'll go up into turns 3, into turns 4. We'll go uphill where the gearing is crucial. So as they'll come back onto the back straight as the rest of the field go through turns 2. Here's your race leaders again, and that's Westerman ducking down behind, and Ben Lord there still in 2nd position. And then
Chris Hymers, for some reason, showing up as the race
first
leader.
place, but 3 laps down in 3rd place. Oh no, he's on lap 3. Yeah, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it is still Westerman in the lead, and he has got Ben Lord all over the back of him as we're going into the stadium section. This fast sweeper now. We're going to see a move down the inside from Ben Lord. No, we're not. So Westerman goes quite defensive. Is that going to make him struggle on the exit? Yes, it does. And now Lord is all over the back of him. Is he going to try and get the switchback move here? No, we can't quite do it. So as we cross the line now, we will have 4 laps remaining of the Pit Bike Stock 140 race, and they go across the line. Let's say 4 laps through turn 1 again over that bump. Tyres is still just watching these two battle. Is that position change for the lead? It is Lord down the inside of Westerman. And I think that is, no, he doesn't. So Westerman, Lord can't quite hold it. Westerman's still in the lead.
Yeah, so you had a look at the inside of turn 2, but well held by Luke Westerman around the outside. Ben Lord still in second place.
Yeah, really close. It looked like he just maybe outbraked himself, did Ben Lord there, going down the inside. But there's another move for first position. It's a carbon copy of what Westerman did to Lord, but no, he can't quite do it. So Lord trying to take the same move as Westerman did into that tight chicane section. Can't quite do it this time.
Last time round, Ryan Tyres set the fastest lap of the race as well. He's by no means out of this. And we've got back markers coming into play now. We've just seen the first go past without incident, but there are more coming up as Westerman takes way too much curb going into stadium, and up the inside slides Ben Lord into the lead. Yeah,
you saw it there. Westerman with far too much curb there. The front wheel goes up, just can't get the power down because of that. Now he's got tyres for company.
Yes, I did say don't forget Ryan Tyres set the fastest lap last time round. Wouldn't surprise me if he turns up purple on this one as well.
Yeah, let's see as they cross the line to complete, or going on to 3 laps remaining, 5 laps completed as they go through turn 1. Again, Westerman having a big wobble there through turn 1. It looks like Tyres going around the outside. Is he going to get the cut back as they go exit into turn 2? And that looks like Westerman made a move on Lord there at turn 2.
I think he's retaken the lead up the inside. He has indeed. Ben Lord well wide into turn 2. And he's back into second place.
He is indeed. So yeah, not sure what happened there. I think a bit late on the brakes. There's the number 88.
Michael Garwood.
Yeah, Michael Garwood, who's going to be the next back marker to play games with these guys. And here we go into the fast section. Luke Westerman with a big look over his shoulder there. Now, are we going to see a replay of what happened through this back section as Westerman goes down the inside. Lord has to go around the outside, and Lord takes advantage of that and almost gets collected by Ryan Tyres. Ryan Tyres going down the inside as well. So Ben Lord there, really close.
Bit of breathing space now for Luke Westerman. That bar marker really played into his hands, and Ryan Tyres looks most likely to make something happen with his top 3, but they are still very close together.
They are indeed very close together. But another back marker has got involved there. I'm not sure who that is. I can't see the number. But now that's closed the gap back up again. And these guys are really close to each other as they go across the start-finish line. We've got 2 laps remaining. It is still Luke Westerman leading the way. Ben Lord and then Ryan Tyres is your top 3 at the moment.
Only 2 laps in this one, I will say. I could watch this race forever. It's so close. It's to the inside of Westerman.
Yeah, Westerman again, straight down the inside. Looks like he nearly lost the front end under braking. He didn't. He's still got the lead as they're going through turn 3 now, up the hill. Get it in the right gear, guys, round turn 4 onto the back straight. But Westerman still with a slight gap.
You can see the number of bikes now in front of them. These last 2 laps will be littered with back markers as they'll get their heads down that back straight to try and build up as much speed as possible.
Yeah, they will indeed. Ben Lord on the 48. Ooh, a bit squirrely under braking there as one of the other back markers getting involved. Again, couldn't see the number in time. As we go through hairpin at number 2 into the back section, through that chicane onto the stadium section now, and again a lot of curb from Westerman. Is that going to affect his run through the fast sweeper? It looks like it does. Ben Lord is right behind. Are we going to see a move down the inside from Ben Lord? We do. Ben Lord goes down the inside to retake the lead as we're going on to the last lap now across the start-finish line. So the last lap board getting ready. Ben Lord takes the lead.
An excellent lunge there into the second or third, I should say, of the hairpins. Very opportunistic.
It was an opportunistic move. He saw the move there, and a new fastest time from Ben Lord, 1:16.786 as they cross the line. As another back marker getting involved, and that potentially could have given Westerman the lead again from Ben Lord as they go into the braking zone. Ben Lord with a slight wobble there, but Westerman looked like he went for a move down the inside. I don't think he's managed it. We'll go back to the camera. There we go, round turns 3 into turn 4. It is still Ben Lord from Westerman from Tyres. It is the time now that we see Tyres make a move to get second or at least first place. Now Ben Lord is still in the lead. There's another back marker. It's the 92 in front. I don't know who the 92 is, but it's the 92 who's going to play a game now with these front 3.
It's Alex Cairns.
There we go. Thank you. And there he is as they've taken that position now. But it's still Ben Lord from Westerman. Now, are we going to see Westerman make a move now, just like Ben Lord did? Is Ben Lord going to take too much curve like Westerman did? No, he doesn't. He stays off it, and so does Westerman. So is Westerman going to go for a move now down the inside? He's got a much better run. Are we going to see a dive down the inside of the braking zones? There's yellow flags, though, in the sector, so I don't think we're going to see an overtake. No, the yellow flag's clear. So it's the final chance now for Westerman to make a move. I don't think he's going to do it. Or is it? Oh, he almost comes off, does Westerman. But Ben Lord holds the lead for the final lap, takes the checkered flag. It's Ben Lord on the 48, followed by Westerman and Tyres.
Absolutely fantastic racing from those top three. Ben Lord finishes first, Luke Westerman second, and Ryan Tyres in third. Excellent stuff. We're waiting now to see who comes home at the end. We've got one rider down in the back section there. We've got a big gap back to fourth place, which is currently Chris Grieve.
We are still watching some more racing further back as well. It's the 15 and 20. And this is Joe Miles and John Buckle as they go across the line. They make contact. They make more contact as they cross the line. They go down. It is Buckle, I think. Or Joe Miles. It's Joe Miles who's gone down across the line. The number 15. They make heavy contact between Joe Buckles and Joe Miles there. So it's John Buckles and Joe Miles there across the line. Heavy contact there as one of the bikes goes down on the start-finish line.
I would not have liked to have been the man with the checkered flag there. Very, very close race, and John Buckle just gets the better of Joe Milners, and Joe Milners takes a heavy hit here on the start-finish straight.
So an exciting end to the Stock 140s race, the busiest race we've seen out there today, but plenty of action out there as bikes now recovering themselves.
That's got to be race of the day so far for me, Anthony. Pit Bike Stock 140s producing an absolute classic there. Next up, we have the Junior SM65 Metro Kits. We're about to see a replay here on the live stream of that hit just at the end there. Producer James just cueing us in. And
yeah, so it was heavy contact between the 15 and 20. Now it is Joe Milners there who goes down the inside, gets tangled and just flips himself over. Heavy hit onto the floor. The bike goes into the barriers. Absolutely dissipates, but really fast crash there for the number 15 on the start-finish line. But as I say, he gets up, he gets a round of applause from the crowd, and yeah, really fast crash. Really fast crash.
I'm afraid that round of applause won't do much for pain relief tomorrow morning, but very much welcome.
And there is the rider that you can see on the stream. That is the number 15. It's Joe Milners there. Obviously, the bike took a very heavy impact there with obviously the ground and the barriers. And I think a couple of rolls as well. But yeah, it just shows the style of accidents that can happen at such a fast circuit. We go to many circuits around the country where they're tight, twisty. But when you come to a fast circuit like this, you know you're going to get an accident like that as well.
Yes, hit of the day so far, that one.
Number 4 on my list. This one brings us back to the British minibike paddock, but this time it's round 9 and the weather conditions have taken a turn for the worst. The rain had poured down all morning, it halted the proceedings, and half the track had been cut off due to standing water. The reason why this race made my top 5 is purely because the first group out on circuit was the junior riders, and they showed absolutely zero fear. This amazed both myself and my co-commentator Jacob Harris, and this is why it made my top 5.
So the IMR Racing stock will be heading out next. And of course, we will have a grid for you. Hopefully it will appear on your screen in just a moment. Here we go. Here's your starting grid for race 1 of the day. Harley McCabe on pole position with Ryan Frost very close behind in second place. Luca Allen in third. Harvey Lathrop rounding out your second grid. Luca Hopkins in 5th. Mason Greasley in 6th. Nathan Ellis Ward in 7th. And Charlotte Macuso in 8th. Ninth place is Daniel Goodman, Lucas Hill in 10th, Terry Collymore in 11th, and Ty Butler in 12th. Zach Weston in 13th, with Oisin Thomas there in 14th. Alfie Davidson in 15th place, with George Bowes in 16th. Jacob Stevenson in 17th, Holly Reeves in 18th, Ruby Booth in 19th place, Harry Pell in 20th, Reece Stevenson's, George Wood and Nathan Ellis Ward no time set in 21st, 22nd and 23rd out on the grid. So I can hear some engines now, as you can see there, making their way round the circuit, and as you can see, cutting half the track there as they make their way round to the grid. Of course, these guys, I believe, will be getting a few more warm-up laps.
Just to call out the Metric GP riders in this one, Anthony. Your top two are JSMs, but Luca Allen in third place is on a Metric kit, as is Luke Hopkins just Hopkins. Sorry, got a few friends called Hopkinson. Luke Hopkins in fifth is on a Metric kit, and Charlotte Marcuso in eighth is third in terms of Metric kits. Dan Goodman and Lucas Hill are ninth and 10th on the Metric kits as well. So 50-50 balance between Metric kits and JSMs in the top 10.
Yeah, so it's a mixed up grid slightly, isn't it? So obviously, hopefully they try not to trip over each other and they keep up into their relevant classes. But of course, it is very easy to get tangled up within another bike and just start battling and losing time to the guys in front, even though you're not even racing each other. You may be battling for that position, but you're not in the same class. So yeah, don't try not to battle them too much. And as you can see, they're making their way back around. It's just so horrible conditions out there. A lot of the riders in wet weather riding gear as well. Yesterday, I didn't have any of that, so I was wearing summertime leather race suit, and it got soaked. Yeah, and so did I. It was horrible. Horrible. Take my hat off to these guys today. I really do.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Anthony.
Oh, it was terrifying.
I myself was at a wedding yesterday and also got soaked in similarly unsuitable attire.
You were wearing a one-piece leather race suit at a wedding?
I wasn't, but I was wearing a suit.
Oh,
and
good.
it wasn't doing anything in terms of keeping the rain off me.
No, I suspect it probably wouldn't. But
This is the shot from the top of the hill. You can see that rise at the back of your shot there. It really is quite steep once you're here in person, and you'll notice the speed difference between certain riders going up that back straight. During some of the races, we certainly saw the younger riders in the adult classes, the likes of Zach Shelton and Chase Collymore, like to step up on occasion. You'll notice that they see quite a decent advantage from their slightly smaller stature going up that hill.
I also discovered in my short practice session yesterday that there is a horrible, horrible bump on the apex as you go up that hill. So it is a flat-out corner. In the dry conditions, you could take that flat, I suspect. But because of that bump, if you try to do it, I suspect you'll have a nice off. So, it's a horrible, horrible little bump. But like I say, I tried it. I had a bit of a moment on it, I have to say, because I lifted for it, and then it kind of unsettled the bike massively, and I almost ruined someone's bike for today's race. Luckily, I did not, and it was fine. So there we go. There's the small warm-up session completed, and the riders are going to line up on the grid. And as you can see there, the rain is coming down quite a lot. As you can see there, all the marshals and nice umbrellas there for the starts. It's probably not going to help now. He's already soaked from those 3 laps. But nonetheless, every little helps.
Just to run you through your order again, then to your right-hand side is your pole man, Harley McCabe, with the red wheels. With the luminous yellow, you got Ryan Frost in second. Luca Allen on the black and white bike in third place. Harvey Lathrop starts in fourth in the black helmet, blue, white and yellow bike. Also on a blue, white and yellow bike in fifth place is Luca Hopkins. And then behind him is Mason Greasley. Nathan Ellis Ward, Charlotte Marcuso and Dan Goodman are the other riders in your picture.
Yeah, so as you can see there, looks like we're almost ready to go. Haven't got our usual shot of straight down the grid. We've just got a side shot from this one. So it's, we've got a stall there in the mid-pack. That is the 4th place rider.
Harvey Lathrop.
Yeah. He's had to jump off that, get it restarted. And it looked like he went to go there, didn't it? So revs rise. And it looks like we're going to get going, and it's a good start from Ryan Frost. Ryan Frost broke away there straight away, and instantly away there. I think, has he got to the front? I think he may have got to the front. No, he hasn't. Still in second place, so no, he was still tucked up away there. So it's still Harley McCabe there leading. Ryan Frost very close behind in these very treacherous conditions. And that's that's Luca Allen there, still in third place, but of course on one of the mini GPs.
Great start from the top three, and good to see them all attacking Luna Bend first time round. Here we see them coming up the hill for the very first time. Front three pulling away already.
Yeah, the front three, as you say, really pulled up a massive gap already and down into that tricky braking zone. And our leader there, Harley McCabe, missing the apex in that first section. And you can see the standing water on the grid there as they're going round. So, yeah, they have to really keep an eye on that one, as they've broken away now into that smaller section. Now, as they come back, and there is a stalled bike, and where is that? Is that on the back straight?
Looks to be Anthony.
Yeah, I think it is.
There he is.
Who have we got there? It is one of the mini GPs.
The 118, I think. Let's have a look who that is. I don't think we have a 118, but may well be Alfie Davidson on the metric kit.
Potentially, and back with our front guys here. We've got some serious pressure from Ryan Frost, from Luca Allen. Luca Allen all over the back, of course, in a different class, so they don't need to race each other. But, of course, are you going to tell them that? No, I'm not. These guys are fully going for it. So these top three, Harley McCabe, Ryan Frost, Luca Allen, they're still battling their way through now, and we'll hopefully try and get the timing tower up at the side of the screen for you as well, so you can see all the action on the screen as well. Here's the guys a little further back. This is Harvey Lathrop and Luca Hopkins as well. They're having a close little battle there in 4th and 5th. Then we've got the 6th, 7th and 8th, and then the long train of bikes here as they all slot through in these lovely conditions. And here comes Luca Allen on Ryan Frost, and he gets the move done as they go up the hill. And it's that is Luca Allen straight away back into P2, chasing down now Harley McCabe for the lead.
Interesting lines through this last corner. You'll see some standing water toward the curb on the edge, which Harley McCabe seems to be picking up as a habit. The back marker getting in his way a little bit there as well.
Yeah, Ryan Frost having to go around the outside of that, around the second corner, the left-hander now, as they go into the boot section. So is the longer way around, unfortunately, for Ryan Frost, but managing to get it done. Now here again comes Luca Allen on the straight, gets that power down, looks like feeling much more confident, holding a much tighter line, getting into that slipstream now, watching that spray. And then is he going to try and pull out and go down the inside here like he did on Ryan Frost? But no, not this time. So Luca Allen stays in second place, but keeping Harley McCabe innocent.
It is very wet up there. They are very, very close, these three. Watch the lines through the corner again on the exit, picking up that standing water as the 28 bike now.
That's Mason Greasley.
Issues. Mason Greasley is out of this one from 6th place.
That's a massive shame for Mason Greasley there, and it's super easy the bike to flood, really, isn't it? There's lots of water out there, and of course these are only small bikes, very low to the ground, so it's very easy for them to get a bit clogged up with dirt or water or anything like that. So massive shame there for Mason Greasley from 6th place.
Yellow flag showing going into Luna for the top three, so no change, but Frost is coming back at Luca Allen here, heading up the hill. I think Allen's got a bit of a pace advantage though.
You say that, but Ryan Frost has closed that gap back up again, so Ryan Frost is still right there alongside. Last lap, Ryan Frost was faster by about a 1/10 of a second, he was faster than both Harley and Luca. And there is the recovering Mason Greasley. He's back onto the circuit now, back with the race leaders, and it is still these three, McCabe, Allen, Frost, in that order. Again, McCabe going wide, so I don't know if that's the racing line that they want to go through. Is the yellow flag still out in that section as they come back through? 4 laps to go, and they'll be coming up the hill in just a moment on the back straight. Here they are, and they've got some more company again of one of the back markers, and again Luca Allen round the outside of Ryan Frost. It looked like Ryan was going for a move there, but that gap is closing on McCabe. McCabe under some serious pressure now from both Allen and Frost. Now let's just see what we do down into the final corner. Again, very tricky braking zone in that one. Through a couple of those puddles, avoiding the massive one that's on the inside there. Luckily, it's off the racing line and they don't need to go anywhere near it. But 3 laps to go, and it's all to play for still between these 3. McCabe fighting strong at the moment at the front.
Just half seconds separated these 3 as they went over the line the last time. And look at Alan now, Anthony. Back marker comes into play.
Back marker getting out of the way of that one quite cleverly. And, yeah, Alan all over the back of McCabe now. But it looks like McCabe just can get the power on there, can't they, on the back straight? And let's just see what we can do into the braking zone. It does seem to be the infield section where Alan is faster than McCabe. But then coming onto that back straight, yeah, McCabe can just close it up. So, yeah, it's an interesting way these bikes are working out there in these conditions. But again, 7 laps down, 2 to go, and let's just see. So it looks like races are 9 laps. I think that's due to, of course, being the 3-lap warm-up that we've got now. As we lost that camera there due to, I think, windy conditions, and we've got another bike coming off the circuit. I don't know if that was Mason Greasley
again.
Yeah, I believe it is. So
Luke Allen supremely close again coming out of Luna, but I think it's McCabe's advantage down that straight that's keeping him in the lead in this one.
Yeah, I think McCabe's got some good skill out there and really loving the Three Sisters circuit here. It is a very fast, open circuit, kind of like Teesside, and lots of support coming in for Harley there. So, but Harley's under some severe pressure from Alan, and of course, Alan has also got the supporters for young Luca, as you can see there. So, plenty of people watching these top 2, or top 3, I should say, because Ryan Frosty's still there, isn't he? You know, he's right there. If he's probably just holding back, biding his time, and you know, he's just going to see whether or not these guys are going to open a gap for him and see what they can do. But here we go. Here comes Luca Allen again, holding that tighter line, but you can just see on the straight, just can't keep up with the pace, can he? No,
just a reminder that Luca Allen is on the Metrokit GP, so this isn't necessarily for class lead. They're both leading their respective classes.
That is very true, actually. They are in totally different classes. So, like I say, at the beginning, they didn't need to race each other, but they will do. And it's the last lap, and the checker flag has come out there for the leaders. And I believe Harley McCabe took it there. I couldn't quite see who took it.
He did indeed. Anthony, Harley McCabe wins that one. Luca Allen comes in second place. Ryan Frost in third. Great racing from the top 3.
Yeah, good little race from them. Fourth place, Luca Hopkins as well. They've just crossed the line as well. Harvey Lathrop there, 5th place. Charlotte Macuso and Lucas Hill in 7th as well. Then we'll go down to Daniel Goodman crossing the line in 8th. Then Teo Collymore will be crossing the line as 9th there. And then the top 10 round out by Ty Butler, Nathan Ellis Ward, Ocean Thomas, Jacob Stevenson of Ruby Booth in 14th place, Holly Reeves in 15th, and then it's Zach Weston, George Bowes, and then I believe Mason Greasley and Harry Pell won't finish the race due to mechanical issues on the bikes.
Number 3 on my list. This one brings us to Buckmore Park for the F100's Sprint of the 90s. The weather conditions were terrible, but the spirit in the paddock and the commentary booth were plain to see. With some terrible impressions from myself and some crazy shorts in the pit lane, here is why it made my top 5. Also joining me in the commentary booth is Ben Topless.
So we're back now, and it's Heat 3 time for the maxed out class. It's the first class going to be making their way out on circuit for, of course, Heat 3. And the van is doing its rounds at the moment. He's off to deliver some carts to the pit lane. And here's the grid for the Heat 3 of maxed out. Sam Smithson, he's going to be leading the way for the start. Stephen Crow in 2nd place with Lee McCrumlish in 3rd. Drew Holmes in 4th place with Charlie Turner in 5th. Steve Groves in 6th place. Elliot Rice in 7th. Jack Bartholomew in 8th place in the number 89 machine. 9th place is Miles Apps in the 14. Carl Barnett there in 10th place. Oliver Appleby in 11th with Karen Ives in 12th. Lewis Hodson Brown, he's in 13th place with Will Barnes in 14th. And then it's Dean Horlock in 15th place with Josh Puthrow there in 16th. Ben Ivory in 17th. James Firmer in 18th. And rounding out your grid of 19 is Hugh Cleveland there. So 19 cuts in this one. Again, we've not lost any from previous before. Or we may have done. Of course, there were always 19 carts on the grid order, but we might not have 19 carts out on circuit, but I'm sure we will. That cart's being recovered sideways. Look at that.
Yeah, well, that was what we saw last
Drifting.
time.
Tokyo Drift. Dun, 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 dun. No, that was that was the wrong theme.
You can see like the front bumper's just like hooked onto the side there.
Tactical. Oh, no, that's the reason why they're going to recover 2 in 1. Look at that.
Stuart, yes.
What do you think they're going to talk about on their way round?
Good race? No.
Did you crash? Yeah. You? Yeah. It's probably the only thing they could talk about, really, isn't it? But some strict instructions there. Oh, he's not sitting in it properly. Oh. There we go. No, he's not going to get in it. Is he going to get in it? This is the highlight of today.
Yeah, he's sort of half in it.
44's leading.
Guys,
Number 1 down the inside. No, he can't quite do it.
They're not coming in slower.
No, they're speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah.
But there we go. Back to the pit lane now, and that'll be, of course, the reason why we've got a little bit of a delay. But yeah, some good stuff out there. As down to 2 umbrellas now.
We've got Steve Clayton stood outside our commentary box here, one of the organisers at F100. Quick shout out to them on a day like this. Must be so hard to keep to the schedule. So shout out to Steve Clayton, the clerk of the course, as well as Jay Fairbrass and Chris Derrick, some of the organisers here at Buckmore Park.
I'm glad you remember names. I'm terrible with names. I'd have just gone, that guy. He's very important, and his name is that guy in my head.
If they're wearing a high vis, they're important.
James, give me a high vis. I want to feel important. And a clipboard, yes. There we go. But no, the cart's there waiting to come out. Of course, again, just waiting for the Buckmore Park van to come back. Now, it is getting quite dark now, isn't it? What's the time? We're 5:10 now in the day, and I don't know if that's just because we've got tinted windows in front of us. So it might be brighter than we actually think.
It's part of the issue. You'll know it's dark when the floodlights come on, which they will, well,
That's
probably
some good observation there.
Mm.
It's dark when the floodlights come on. Why didn't I think of that? But there we go. But cool. So good action from that. Some more support coming in. Good luck, Dan and Adam from ant_CB. Not sure what that means. There you go. There's a perfectly timed wave from that man. And some more shorts. There we go. But there we go. Umbrella goes away. Legs come out. There we go as the carts make their way onto the circuit. And we'll get this race underway. Again, 2 different classes in this one. You've got the 2, I think we've got 3 actually heavyweight classes in this one. The 80, the 95 and the 71. So 3 of them out this time. As they all make their way around to the circuit. It doesn't look as bad now, does it, out there?
No.
I'd say that water's gone away.
Yeah, you'll find out when they run through the curve. That's where most of the standing water was. You saw when they were running over the curves, there was a massive splash of water coming up. So we'll find out.
No, we'll see. And of course, out there, it's still not dry, is it? But yeah, it's there's a lot less standing water out there.
It's almost slicks.
I wouldn't. The rain's still coming down there. You can see it on the shots. It is still coming down fairly heavy. Not as heavy as it was earlier. And as you see, the grandstands are starting to fill up again. There we go. There's a good shot, the grandstands, so they're quite full. But here we go. We're going to get going for the final heat of the day, and then we'll go on to the finals for these guys later on. It's Sam Smithson and Stephen Crow is your front row, the 41 and 80. Liam McCrumish in 3rd. And here we go for heat number 3 for the Rotax class. It's maxed out, and here we go. It's the 81 taking to the grass, and the 26 completely cutting off the 42 there as they go through. 3 wide further back in the middle of the pack, but they all get round turn 1 cleanly.
Yeah, that was an awful launch from number 42. I'm not sure what happened. He didn't even make it to turn 1 in the lead on his row, and that's a cut all over the curve. The number 61 came all over the curve on the inside, all 4 wheels off the track.
I'd have to say it worked for him, though, because he managed to get a couple of positions from it, and the other karts weren't expecting that. There's a bit of side-by-side action. Another kart in the wall as well, further back on the grid. Can't quite see the number, though, as we go through. And here again, dive down the inside. That was an ambitious dive from the 61 that time. Forces the 42 off. And there's the number 7 on the screen. That is Miles Apps there, who's had a massive disappointment this time around, down in 16th place.
Yeah, he had a good first race, a good first couple of races, but unfortunately, yeah, it looks like his race is now run. The 42 really abusing track limits on the bottom of the hill, as a number of drivers have been.
Well, I have to say, I can't put all the blame, though, on the 42 for the track limits, because he was slightly helped, thanks to the 61 of Charlie Turner, who went into the side of him, I think. So I can't all put the blame on him, but yeah, a little bit. But there we go. As the rest of the field go through, the 35 jostling there with the 80 of Ben Avery. Lewis Hodson-Brown as well, just at the back. And here they come down Syme Sweep in towards Paddock Bend. Again, super fast corner into a very slow corner, I have to say. There's the 84 and the 47, and 80 not adhering to track limits down there. You've got to stay off that red part of the track. Again, one very slippery, very bumpy, and not track limits.
Again, 47 was kind of helped by Elliot Rice in the 74. I would say this is the most aggressive race I've seen from them so far, as he makes the move again. Elliot Rice almost getting a bit of a love tap there.
Yeah, no love lost there at all. And there it is, returning the favour there, straight down the 47 on the 64, swapping positions. And again, just jostling for position there. And here comes the 35, the second place man and the last time around. And he's going to be trying to battle his way through this field. But it's Jack Bartholomew still leading the way on the 89. He's got a 3.2 second gap from second place, which is Charlie Turner on the 61. I'm not sure if Charlie Turner is going to be looked into at any point during this race, but of course there was some jostling further back. The 35 diving down the inside of the 67 there and almost getting his nose wiped clean off by the 64, who had no idea he was there. And again, there's lots of contact through this section here as they come up the hill onto the start-finish straight. You don't look happy with that, do you?
That was a little bit too much, I would say, from Lewis Hodson-Brown. He kind of made a gap. There wasn't really a gap, but he kind of made one.
Exactly that. So, of course, if there was the slightest opportunity for a move, you would have gone for it, of course. But yeah, if it's slowly disappearing, it's slowly disappearing. And there's a spin for the 47 of, who is that? That's Kieran Ives. So he was having a great race there, jostling for position, but it was bound to happen at some point in that pack that someone was going to have a bit of a 360 moment, and the floodlights have come on at the circuit, so they're going to start and light the place up. And again, these guys battling for position. The 34 aggressively returning back onto the circuit to block the 64, who just pushed him off the track slightly round Paddock. And now the 80's getting involved, so you got Kieran Ives, Ben Avery and Liam McCrumlish, they're having a close little battle out here.
Yeah, 34 getting run out of road a little bit by the number 64, but yeah, just floored it off the track, and you could see him just fully sideways off the circuit, so you could see that painted section is still quite slippery.
It is super, super slippery out there, and they have opened up slightly. The 64 of Carl Brunt there, and he's just trying to keep up with the speed of Ben Avery in the 80 in 9th place. So this is 8th, 9th and 10th battle that we're looking at here. Here's the 74. This is Elliot Rice. This is 4th place. And who's got behind them? The 26. Now the 26, I think, is just overtaken him. So I think that is a move for 3rd place. And yes, it is. So he's managed to get it done. So when he crosses the line, you'll see the position change on your timing screen. There it is. So now there's very close between those and the 42 just behind them. And I don't think the 42's involved in this at all. I think the 42 is further down the order. I can't see a 42.
I think Sam Smithson is 42, even if it shows as 41.
Okay, so it's
on our and the 35 is making a move into the hairpin. So
there we go. So we've established that. So we know who the 42 is. So it is still full position. Is the 35 and the 30. 4, I think that is. We're seeing that's Lewis Hodson-Brown and Oliver Appleby. They're having a good little jostling again. He's trying to go through there. Oh, that's the number 80. who's going through there. Now the 80 being Ben Avery.
Oh,
And the
spins.
42's gone off. No, not ideal, is it? And there's everyone else going through as well, and that's not ideal, is it?
No, you could see him like spinning the wheels trying to get the kart going again, but Lewis Hodson Brown all the way up into 5th place now, driving very aggressively. You could see him on the downhill part of the circuit just taking an enormous amount of curve.
Yeah, indeed, and you can see the floodlights starting to take over the circuit there, shining on the very wet surface here at Buckmore Park. It's 5:15 and 2 minutes in, or 2 minutes remaining of Heat 3 for the maxed out class here for the F100 UK 90s Kart Series. And we're with your 6th place man, I think, at the moment. Who are we looking at here?
Lewis Hodson Brown, he's chasing
4th
down
place.
Drew Holm.
Yes, 4th place man. So yeah, he's doing a sterling job at the moment. Everyone seems to have spread out a little bit now, haven't they? Wet conditions playing havoc with it.
Yeah, well, you can. Yeah, the spray will be playing havoc with these drivers at the moment as well. As Battle for 4th heads through the first couple of corners, he's beginning to get in range. We'll be able to see him hopefully in a few moments. I think there's about to be a move for 4th. And he's done it. He's on the inside, but he's going to try and hold it around the outside as 26, but not quite.
I couldn't quite do it that time. We'll have to see as he goes through. I think he has managed to make the move done, so the 35 does hold on to 4th place now. So Lewis Hodson Brown moves up into 4th place. Who are we looking at here? This is...
race leader.
It is indeed. It's the 89. It's Jack Bartholomew. He's going to cross the line now. 1 minute remaining, and that rain started to come back down again, hasn't it? It's made another appearance. So, yeah, that track, after it's starting to get a little bit more tameable, it's opened up again. So, the heavens have opened. But he still has a pretty open lead, 3.870 seconds. So he's got a good lead with 43 seconds to go.
Yeah, and as the light fades and as the lights become more prominent, this spray is going to become an issue. So hopefully we're not going to have any more rain on board.
Excellent stuff. We've got a good Instagram page there with the cheeky man who was on camera in the pit lane. We snapped him. There we go. So he's on the Instagram page, so well done. 13 seconds left on the clock. And there's the 61 who's just gone through shots. 2nd place, Charlie Turner. He's crossing the line now. This will be for the penultimate time, I suspect, as our race leader, when he next crosses the line, will receive the last lap board. And then it will be that time gap again open, 4.1 seconds now.
Yeah, but he's got the gap to Elliot Rice behind. He's still got around 4 seconds, which he's been able to maintain for the last few laps now. Lewis Hodson Brown a long way behind, 11 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, so as you can see, the top 4 in this category, very separated compared to what we've seen in previous classes. The 89 there, the race leader, chucking it into that corner. Almost making a mess of it, but managing to get through. A lot of curb on the inside there. Let's watch Jack Bartholomew then for his final lap as he goes around Buckmore Park for the final heat 3 of the day. It's last lap time, and as you can see there, stamps on the brake. It's a little bit of a kick out the back there as he sweeps it in, gets on the power and feeds it through. Then it's heavy on the brakes into hairpin 1, and then his 2nd place. I thought we were going to watch him all the way around, but we didn't. There we go. But... it's there he is. No, we're back with him now. Here he is again, the 89, as he's going through. He's going through the S's now, isn't he? And he's got some trouble of a back marker now ahead of him. Not sure who it is. Can't quite see the number from that one. 37. So it's 37. It's Will Barnes. Will Barnes has managed to get out of the way now. Round the final couple of corners now, though. Again, just keeping it under control. Just a bit of a. He locks it up, doesn't he? And he just kicks it in, and seems to be a good tactic working for him. And again, lots of curb around there. But here we go, up the hill for the final time. The next thing he's going to see is that checker flag on the digital flag. And there it is, checker flag for Jack Bartholomew, clear by 4.151 seconds. 2nd place, Charlie Turner, clear by another 4 seconds from Elliot Rice, who comes home in 3rd. And then it's Lewis Hodson Brown in 4th place, 10.9 seconds down from the race leader at the end. Drew Holmes in 5th place, and then Oliver Appleby in 6th place. Stephen Crow in 7th, and then Ben Avery, and then Sam Smithson in 9th, with Carl Bankner in 10th place. But it's, a bit of an open race for that one.
Yeah, I think that's the first race we've seen. Quite aggressive in the beginning, but then it all spread out towards the end.
It did indeed, didn't it? But as you can see, races going down, there you go. More comments going in. Rooting in from my wonderful boyfriend, Sam Smithson, all the way here from Sweden. There we go, watching from Sweden. There we go. So,
it was, of course, in that very last race. I went to put
yes.
that up earlier.
Yeah. But excellent stuff. He did well. He did very well.
Number 2 on my list. This one takes me to Rye House for the London Cup Finals of 2019. The reason why this one made my top 5, the senior Rotax class headed out onto the circuit for their final, and it was a very dramatic start and a dramatic race as well. Also, I wasn't actually supposed to be commentating on this one. I was invited to the commentary booth by the brilliant Alex Goldschmidt, and here is why it made my top 5.
Well, I'm just waiting for my colleague Anthony Jordan to come back up into the commentary box. But we have our closing race for the 2019 Rye House London Cup, brought to you in association with Screed Force Limited and Back in the Saddle. Anthony.
What have I missed?
Nothing, because they've just gone out onto the grid.
Excellent. Good.
So, the race 27 of the meeting, this is the final hurrah for 2019. So on the grid is as follows. Liam Ferguson in the 65 and Mike Spencer in the 48 alongside Alfie Haralambus and Aaron Drury, that's row 2. Sean Berry and George Sanders, row 3. Philip Rawson, George Whitbread, row 4, and completing the top 10, it's Riley Stevenson and Simon Keeble. Thomas Storart and Hayden Cater, that's row 6. Tom Thompson, Will Keith, row 7. Sam Gambrell and Tom Sullivan, row 8. Kieran McCarney and Miles Nathaniel James, that's row 9. Lawrence Sverdloff and Jack Richards ran out the top 20 with Joe Havisham, Harvey Hollick, Tom Richards, Pete Newman and Chris Calava rounding out the 25 set to go into battle. Over 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Apologies for those that might be at the circuit. We've had to go to the live stream microphone. There's been a bit of a problem with the mic. It's been sort of phasing in and out of signal because it's normally over the other side of the circuit. However, we are here for the duration. So 2x2 rolling start formation to get the Senior Rotax London Cup final race of the weekend underway, but we're going to get another formation lap, I fear.
I believe so, and there's a crash in the background on the start as well. 2 go off into the barriers, and I can't see who it was, but I think that was just drivers thinking it was a go time. There's a 68 there.
68, that is Miles Nathaniel James and Kieran McCarney. 53 also involved, so that could put us down to 23 drivers, and that is a hefty hit. That should be a red flag.
I think the red flag has come out, yeah.
Okay, red flag has been called.
So it looks like both drivers are up and are okay, which is excellent to see. But as you can imagine, probably incredibly frustrated and disappointed at that. And they've kicked a lot of debris up onto the circuit as well.
Yeah, a lot of grass cutting. If it was on Jonathan Palmer's circuits, they would be getting a bill in the post.
Oh, yes.
But it's not easy with these kind of races where they're doing a 2x2 rolling start formation and everyone has been stopped on the Complex Nouvelle, just heading into the S's. So let's have a look at the start again. Okay, everyone knows it's another formation lap. You can see the 57 there. That's Sean Berry waving the finger around saying, okay, one more lap. And this is where it starts kicking off. I just need to, you can just see, and also going sideways is the 31. That's Jack Richards.
Sorry.
So Lawrence Sverdloff would have been on that row. That's the bottom part of the top 20.
I also saw the 13 as well getting out of shape completely sideways.
Lawrence Sverdloff on the number 13, funnily enough, yeah, starting on P19. So that's going to bring us with a little bit of a delay. A real shame for 2 competitors that won't have a chance to compete for the London Cup title in 2019. A bit of a dramatic way to start the race because they all knew it was a full start. I'm not too sure if someone got caught unawares or the back end just stepped out. It can happen.
Well, it all depends. Are these guys running slicks?
That's exactly the thing I was thinking.
I think if they're on slicks and there was a damp patch on the edge of the circuit, because they're so bunched up and side by side, one was forced into a puddle, hit the power, lit up the rear tyres, and then absolutely sent it off on the side.
Right, let's have a look.
They are, yeah, slicks. Yeah.
So some were chancing it. Some were chancing it. They thought, you know what, with the Rotax 177s and the Bambinos, the way that they had been moving forward, And in terms of the cumulative lap times that were being aggregated over the course of the proceedings, you know, 2 races, 20 minutes of track evolution, I thought, Tri Lines are showing. I might chance it. And 2 of them found out the hard way it was the wrong call, possibly.
Yep, and of course, round the corners, the track has completely dried out. As we look at this shot here, this is just at the exit of Pylon before Paddock Bend, at the pit lane entrance. That track there is completely dry, barring puddles at the edge of the circuit. But the start-finish straight itself, there's a lot of, it's still damp across the main body of it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see that they're trailing away one of the carts there, which looks to be Miles Nathaniel James's cart. You can still see there's a lot of standing water. Well, it's sort of like ideas of, you know, you can just see, I mean, if we can just get an angle onto the start-finish straight where the marshalling team are now sweeping up the grass debris that's been spat out onto the circuit, you can still see that there is still some damp residue of the standing water puddles that we found on the start-finish straight. So it's probably when they, you know, and then also you've got the painted lines. Those are still going to be slick as anything, like skating on an ice rink. So you're going to find that they'll boot the power down, and they thought, well, okay, I've got to accelerate. Oh, no, not what I wanted. Lawrence Sverdlov and a few others got compromised, and, yeah, just took out McCartney and Nathaniel James, who obviously wanted to have a chance at competing for. So that eliminates 2 carts, which puts us down to 23 runners and riders. So we've got a little bit of a delay whilst they do the clean-up. Marshalling team here at Rye House always doing a fantastic job, and a big thank you to them for expediting things very, very quickly and in shipshape and Bristol fashion. But it's going to be an interesting one. You know, we've got some great competitors out there. We've got Mike Spencer, the old warhorse, ready to go into battle with a young crowd, and I think he could put the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. Drivers start to take their seats now, so it looks like we're going to get going again for a restart. Now, of course, after this happening, I'm sure these drivers are going to be taking extra caution now at the start, even though they're going to want to break away.
I think if they get another rolling, because they'll go onto a full rolling start formation. So in terms of the starting order, it will be Liam Ferguson, Alfie Haralambous. Well, the thing is that the clock has started in some ways showing them all across, but what we'll do is we'll get the racing action underway. I'm not going to worry about a grid because, simply put, if you've got some popcorn and a beer and you're sitting at home watching the TV, watching this live stream, you will be entertained. And my voice might start to sound a bit gravelly now, Anthony, but that's the pitfall of being a commentator, isn't it?
Yes, you commentated a long time. I commentated for 6 hours yesterday. My voice after the last couple of hours was non-existent.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it happened.
And
Plenty of fluids.
Yeah, well, I've had 3 bottles of fluids, and obviously people might say, oh, it sounds a bit gravelly, Alex. I said, well, yeah, but normally at the points when I need to be vocal, it happens. And you know on that when we worked on the C1 24 hours. So they go into the 2x2 rolling start formation. Nice and tidy this time around. We go racing for the final time in the 2019 London Cup. And already the lead. Oh, contact at the front of the field. And that involved Ferguson. Who was the other involved? That could have been Mike Spencer, I think. Not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure it was Mike Spencer, yeah.
Yes.
I think they got a little bit tangled up, and the 65 for Ferguson went over the top of the back of Spencer as well. And
there's yellow flags being waved. And that is off the exit of Reg's elbow. But Mike Spencer, the old warhorse, struck very, very firmly alongside Liam Ferguson. So straight away, Spencer gets into the lead of the race on lap 1. Haralambous, Sanders, Drury, Berry, Rawson, Whitbread, Cater, Keeble, Storar, Stevenson, Keith, Gumbrell. And also Tom Sullivan is the driver not racing. He's out of this race, so we're down to 22. If Tom Richards can keep on circulating, as Alfie Haralambous now is charging at Mike Spencer.
Oh, no!
And Haralambous into the wall. Oh.
And the reason that happened, Mike Spencer got very loose under braking. If we've got a replay of it, I'd love to see it. But you could see that Spencer, and there's another victim there at Pylon. 2 more victims, the 61 spins as well. But he got loose, and that massively distracted Haralambous, and it caused him to go into the puddle there at Pylon, and it's a huge disaster.
That's really big things happening. That's shaken up the order yet again. So Spencer, let's have a look at this. Spencer goes sideways, drifts body language, and that cart was crabbing on the rear axle.
Yeah, definitely so. Back with the action, though. The gap between first and second is as close as ever. Half a second between those two as we're looking at the battle.
No, I think Sanders has taken the lead. Has Sanders got the lead? Not quite, but they're running in the 39.5s. Mike Spencer absolutely setting the timesheets on like purple. Sanders is in second. Aaron Drury now in third place. Haralambous in fourth. Cater now in fifth. And Cater's only 4.9 seconds off of the leaders.
As you can see there, going through paddock again. And those conditions after that incident has kicked up a load of water onto the circuit, and that's making it very hazardous around that pylon corner now.
So Aaron Drury now trying to close up on George Sanders a little bit further down the order. Let's have a look at the start again. So Spencer and the 65 wrestling away there.
Liam Ferguson.
Mechanical black flag for Jack Richards. You can just see Spencer goes for the gap.
Yep.
There's not enough room. He's got nowhere else to go, and it sends the 65 of Liam Ferguson spinning, and that rear axle very forlorn as a result of that. But now Spencer has got a lead of over 1.3 seconds ahead of George Sanders. Aaron Drury trying to chase him down at the moment for second. Alfie Haralambous and Hayden Cater a little bit further afield. Cater now dropping well off Alfie Haralambous to the tune of around 2.3 seconds. George Whitbread, Philip Rawson, Thomas Starrar, Sean Berry and Riley Stevenson in the 87 rounds out the top 10. And Spencer just is keeping, well, he's been trying to keep his nose clean. But that was a very difficult move. I mean, he went for the gap, and as the late Ayrton Senator Silva said, if you don't go for a gap, you are not a racing driver. Mike Spencer is a racing driver, and here is the change. Looks to be for second position as Aaron Drury goes up the inside to take second away from the 51 of George Sanders. 5 minutes and 21 seconds plus an additional lap left to go in the 2019 Rye House London Cup, brought to you in association with Screed Force Limited.
Yep, that's a good, clean overtake through that last sector. Personal best for the second, third and fourth drivers as they start to now make trying to close that gap up to Mike Spencer. The gap was 2.726 last time round. These guys hopefully are going to start working together to try and close that.
They are not. They are squabbling like two little children
of course.
After the last dessert at the restaurant. Still side by side. Look at this. This is brilliant racing between Drury and Sanders. Nice and controlled and composed. And this is allowing Mike Spencer, well, if he gets a 5-second post-race penalty for a front fairing issue, he's done that up to 3 seconds.
He is indeed. So let's see what we've got on this one. The gap has opened up again slightly. Contact warning for Tom Thompson on the 32. And that's quite further down the field in 11th place at the moment. Well, actually in 10th place. So that may be the reason why he's got 10th.
And probably on the move on up the inside of Sam Gumbrell, who's now down in 11th in the 37. Harvey Hoddick up into 12th place now. Great work from the 2019 Rye House IKL Senior Rotax champion. So he was the first of the 4 qualifiers in the B final. He's making some steady progress. It's not going to be enough for him in terms of time. I mean, if you had 12 minutes, it might give him a fair crack at the whip. But in the meantime, Aaron Drury's just set his best lap of the race, whereas Mike Spencer is clocking out. He's definitely the first one to the clocking station, trying to get out of work quickly than anybody else, and he's 3.285 seconds up the road from Aaron Drury and trying to comfortably extend the gap. Drury's just put in his personal best as up the inside there. That's a great move for position. That's Philip Rawson going up the inside of George Whitbread for 6th place through the outfield hairpin, as Cater getting really feisty behind Haralambous now for what is 4th position. So the defending London Cup champion under the cosh, 3 minutes 20 plus an additional lap left to go, and it is quite literally 3.5 tenths between Cater in 5th, Haralambous in 4th, with Sanders in 3rd. Drury now sets the fastest lap of the race and takes 0.2 of a second out of Mike Spencer. Spencer still running in the 37.6s. His best is a 37.625, but Aaron Drury's just put in a 37.405 on that last lap, and that's impressive pace. He wants to try and close down. He's got just under 3 minutes to do it, Anthony. Can he do it? Is the big question.
Well, it's a tough call, isn't it? So not a lot of time, of course, but these carts going around at such an extensive pace now. Anything could be possible, of course. So Drury and Spencer running at the front. First and second contact warning for Will Keith in the 19 kart. He's down in 14th place at the moment, 23 seconds behind the race leader. 2.5 minutes to go as we look at this. Oh, and there's contact here, the 97 involved, and that is Aaron Dury. Dury, second place, is out.
Drury is out of the running. That's a real disaster, and that looks to be maybe the 24. Oh, no, not the calamity that is Chris Calava. If we can have a look at that replay, because I just want to sort of see what happened.
It was kind of the back end of it.
Well, Calava was the back marker,
there it is.
and he's just got in the way of Aaron Drury, and Drury has just sort of had been thrown a curveball, and this has given a proper gain for Mike Spencer, of all people. He's got a lead of 4.852 seconds over George Sanders, as Alfie Harry-Lambus and Hayden Cater are now taking chunks of time out of each other and also out of those in front. So Mike Spencer now is going to complete very shortly lap number 13. We've got just over 90 minutes to go as Cater is being closed on by Philip Rawson. Rawson sensing a podium here. This is for the final step on the rostrum. Harry-Lambus has that prime opportunity to be on the podium for the second season in succession, but Cater, Rawson really going hammer and tongs, and he set the fastest lap of the race at 37.027, and he took nearly 3/10 out of Hayden Cater. I think Philip Rawson is clearly the danger man for the final step on the podium with 1 minute and 11 seconds on the clock remaining plus an additional lap.
Yeah, the 29 looking very strong there at the back of this group of three as they dive into pylon corner again for the 13th time. 13 laps completed so far, as you say, with 1 minute, 1 lap remaining as these guys now head round paddock and they're asked to slow down. There's yellow flags and we're not sure what's happened. Who's at the 40?
Oh, that is the 40 of Thomas Starrar there. No, who's had a mechanical there. So that's a shame for him running up in terms of that. But obviously the tail, obviously looking back at that replay that we saw between Chris Calava and Aaron Drury. Drury, I think, just got caught up as Tom Thompson sets the fastest lap of the race and goes sub 37. 36.957 as we go into the last 30 seconds. And it is game on. Alfie Harry-Lambus has now started to pull away as both Rawson, who's now overtaken Cater. Cater going back up the inside of the 29 as they go side by side, heading into the S's, but the 29 fractionally ahead thus far. As the leader now comes through, that is Mike Spencer, who has a whopping 5.746 second lead. As we go into the last 10 seconds of the race meeting and of the 2019 Rye House London Cup. Cater, what a cheeky little move, but Rawson compromised himself by going through the standing water off of Reggie's elbow. That puts him out of 4th, down into 5th place. As looks like very shortly time's expired. This is going to be the final lap of the race when Mike Spencer crosses the finish line, which he does now. 950 metres for the 48 of Mike Spencer to negotiate his lead now. As Sanders crosses the line, 5.681 seconds. Harry-Lambus, Cater, Rawson. That's your top 5.
Doing a great job so far, but as you say, last lap time for Mike Spencer, 16 laps completed. He's only got a few hundred metres to go before he can potentially be crowned 2019 London Cup champion.
So he's coming round into the final corner. Couple of corners is Mike Spencer. Round paddock he comes. Mike Spencer does the Sebastian Vettel, taps the side pod and knows that he has got the 2019 Rye House London Cup title in senior Rotax in the bag as one of the marshals looks to assist somebody else. Philip Rawson, in the meantime, set the fastest lap of the race, and that is the 24. That is Chris Calava having a calamity of a last lap, which put him out of the running. Oh, that's not what you want. Oh, Chris, just take it easy, mate. We know you want to get the car back on circuit, but nearly getting jumped on by your own kart is not what you want as he refires the engine up. But Mike Spencer, provisionally speaking, becomes the 2019 Rye House London Cup Senior Rotax champion as they're checking for front fairings there, as is mandatory within Rotax racing circles. Spencer takes the win provisionally ahead of George Sanders. Alfie Harry-Lambus, no. Chris Calava has got a very wobbly rear axle. The left rear is absolutely vibrating. That tyre could come asunder any second, wouldn't you say, Anthony?
Oh, definitely so. That's not how you want to go around. I'm sure that's quite an uncomfortable ride he's got there.
That's the Latino version of the Senior Rotax, isn't it? Yeah, forget Ricky Martin. Definitely, but that's going to be a few fix-me-ups in the winter season.
Yes.
But with regards to the finishing order, Mike Spencer, provisionally speaking, becomes the 2019 Rye House London Cup champion in senior Rotax.
And finally, on to my number 1 spot of my top 5. This one takes me back to Buckmore Park for the first ever 24-hour endurance race. It was my first ever karting 24-hour endurance race as well, and I was commentating alongside Chaz Draycott. At the end of 6 hours of racing, both myself and Chaz were quite delirious, and all we fancied was a nice cold beer.
He didn't mean have you eaten the commentator. No, I'm still here.
Oh yeah, no, I've not eaten the commentator. No, he's still alive.
And it's not a crunchy either that he's eating. I don't know what brand of honeycomb bar it is. He's going to show us. It's a honeycomb slice from Cobb's Cakes.
Is it quite nice, is it? There we go.
There
The
we go.
restaurant here at Buckmore Park is magnificent. Come on down, have a go.
I just had a twirl. I'm refreshed,
Oh, excellent.
says Paul McGuinness. Okay, so we've been told to try the honeycomb slice. Just
Well,
so we
there
get
you
our
go.
own opinions.
Off you go.
I'll get one out.
You
I'll
go
mute
first.
myself and have a
Yeah,
go.
mute yourself. I don't think the people on the stream want to hear you munching on a honeycomb bar.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put it to the people, shall we?
Would you like to hear?
Would you
him
like
eat
to hear me eat it, or would you like me to mute myself at the expense of your
I'm
own
going
ears?
to say mute.
Let's just have a quick look. Give it until right. Live
Okay.
time now is
So
7:35.
we didn't want people to say hi, Mum. We want to
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
So
okay, that's
mute
one.
it. That's 1 for yes. I'm going to
Of
say. Of
course.
course we would. Yes. Mute.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Mute the mic.
Well, we've got 4 for here.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
6.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
We're gonna-
Hear it. Eat it. Hear it.
Right, here you go, boys.
Mute your mic first. I really don't want to hear it in my earpiece.
He's gonna get it louder than you lot. Ready? Here we go.
No, don't.
Oh wow, wow!
It's tasty.
It's
Put the-
very very thick.
Jimmy Broadbent, put the mic in your mouth. No, that's awful. That's terrible.
That is strong.
That's absolutely terrible. Is that quite honeycomby, is it?
Mm.
Oh dear. Crunch. The crunch comment coming in now. Crouch. There's a crouch than that one. But there we go. Oh no. I'll put my headphones in for that. So I want it right in the ear of you eating a honeycomb bar. There we go. There's some committed viewers there. Excellent. On the stream. Yes, I'm joined here by Steve Brown. He's one of the drivers in the number 12 WTF1 kart. How's it going out there for you, Steve?
I think it's okay. We got demoted, if you like, from the pro class to the clubman class.
It's a harsh way of pulling it.
So yeah, so now it's going okay. Actually, I think we're 3rd in class. So we've got a chance of.
I think you're first in class.
Oh, are we? Okay. Yeah, I just got back, so I haven't quite. Let's have a look. But yeah, it's going okay. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, they got promoted as well. So yeah, so we're top at the moment. I'm going out an hour. Hopefully, we can keep that. Let's see.
Well, yeah, so you've had a fantastic race so far. We saw early on that you struggled with some of your teammates. We won't mention them. I'm sure everyone in the stream knows who they are, who struggled. Have you given them any tips to help them out?
Drive fast and don't crash, basically. It's kind of hard because, our team is kind of split between some really experienced guys and some really not experienced guys, like doing it for the first time. So I think the main thing is just really don't be afraid out there. Just settle down into your pace. If someone's quicker than you, don't worry about them, they'll go past you. I think the main thing is just not being too scared of what's going on around you and just settling into your own rhythm and just not minimising your mistakes, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I say you're quite familiar with this circuit here, aren't you? You've been here quite a lot.
Yes, I mean, I first came here when I think this clubhouse wasn't even here. A long time ago, like nearly 20 years ago, I first came here. I've done countless laps around here, so I'm bigging myself up, so I need to really not do anything bad when I go out there now.
Yes.
But lots of experience, love the track, great circuit. They've put a lot of development into the place, and it's just a great track to keep coming back to.
I mean, it's my first time here, and from what I've seen so far, absolutely fantastic facility. The clubhouse is amazing. The track looks amazing as well, in such a picturesque part as well, in the side of the hill with the trees everywhere. Absolutely fantastic. So talk us about some stuff that you do. You do some YouTube stuff as well?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. I love racing games. It's something that I thought I'd do just for fun. I just used to post some videos, just see how it went, and somehow it was actually quite popular. People actually began to start watching it, and it kind of spiraled and turned into a career, and that's what I do now. And thank you to WTF1 for inviting me to the event. yeah, YouTube's my main thing now. It's a passion. I love racing games. Just try to keep the viewers happy. But it is a quite tricky job. Quite long hours, a lot of editing. Can get a bit boring at times, but it is something that I love doing. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, so much more than me. I mean, I've got 6 followers on my YouTube channel. How many have you got again?
187,000, I think.
Precisely, you know that, yeah. Well, it's a lot more around that mark, yeah. A lot more than me, but no, absolutely fantastic effort. And I say you guys are now leading the class in your clubman one there. Absolutely fantastic to see. But yeah, no. And the last part of the race, can you talk to us about your team strategy? Can you relay that information to us? What can we know?
Well, I think I don't really know. I think the strategy is just just don't do anything silly, basically. Don't get caught up in a silly crash, or just hope that we don't get an engine problem or any sort of mechanical problem. Maybe just be consistent and just try to avoid silly mistakes and silly crashes. And I think that's about it. And just hope that maybe that it stays dry, because I think maybe a lot of our team's struggling in the wet weather, because it was really difficult to drive for your first time in the rain.
Yeah, and I say we are scheduled rain again at around 11 o'clock tomorrow. So that's going to make it interesting in the latter part of the race. So yeah, that's going to make it really interesting. So get your good drivers out there at that point.
Yeah, you have to try and... I think Jimmy's out to close out the race for us. But maybe by then, hopefully, we've got 20 lap advantage. So we'll see.
Right. What was that you were saying, James? What socks are you wearing? I think someone on the stream asked.
And are you driving in chase cam?
Some nice grey socks.
Can I get those ones?
Can you get those?
There we go.
There we go. Some nice grey socks there. And I think we had some more comments as well saying, "Are you driving on chase cam?"
Oh, of course. That's the only way to drive. It's about 2 seconds a lap. So
2 seconds a lap. There you go. No, perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Steve. Really great seeing you out there. Best luck for the race. Hopefully you keep it in first out there.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed my top 5 best commentary moments of 2019. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the guys at Alpha Live, and we'll see you when the 2020 race season restarts again. Other than that, stay safe.